around and then we finish. With me here is Professor Paul Katuse, a strategist that you know about because he's interacting with Professor Karen Ouma, and I will be
I'm Jiji Twahir, in senior leadership at the Dekan University History. My official title is Associate Dean and Chief of Staff.
I'm very good.
Before being Chancellor of the university, he was a member, he was a chairman of the council actually, from 2010 to 2013. Some of the developments you have seen at KU are actually how they look like. They have not just come by coincidence, they have come because at the helm of the organization. There's a gentleman, time to give the presentation. From Katuse, meanwhile, you can come and just open the first one, because we are the one who is going to be our expert on that one. And so it's your opportunity now, Dr. Weregi, to interact with us. We'll finish probably before 1, but he has all the time. If you want to go up to 6, it's okay, because our classes go up to 6.
But I'm also very passionate about banking, insurance itself. So there is a lot of experience here and I'll benefit a lot from that interaction. I also want to congratulate and thank USIU for inviting me here, particularly Professor Long. It's a long time since I came here. I was telling him the last time I came here, I was at a field somewhere down here. It was a big function, I was just an observer, and I liked what I saw. And coming back today, looking at what I have seen here. The observation I made myself is, and I hope Professor Vice Chancellor Muganda doesn't hear me say this, I think I have a preference for private universities. Look at the environment. It looks very conducive. If you look at the classroom, very clean, facilities very clean. Public universities have their own challenges, they're funding challenges, just like private universities. But as Kenyans, we have a responsibility to make sure that all these institutions work and deliver to the satisfaction of Kenyans. When I was invited by Professor, you must know more than me because you do research and you have done research on how strategy is developed over time, and you've also done research on interacting with organizations and the challenges they face. So I wondered what more deliver. As we talked, he did say to me, what he is really looking for is the practical experience of an executive who has delivered strategy, continues to deliver, execute a strategy. And that's why at the outset I said, I think I'll learn more from you because you also in your own jobs, because much as you are, some of you are lecturers in university, most of you are actually business executives who implement strategies. I'll probably take out more from you than you take out of me, and which I can use to go and run this organization. Before that, it was called BRITAC, again British American Kenya. So we thought this is a better name, acronym, we like it. And we say Britain is a leading diversified financial services group, which is listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and our interests span across the East and Southern African region, where we offer this like this company was incorporated in the Bahamas in 1920 as a home service insurance organization. Home service refers to small amounts of insurance that are sold at the low end of the market. And in the introductions, I think there's somebody who talked about working in insurance, being interested in micro insurance, and that is what Britain was in the 1980s. Our regional expansion strategy and execution of our strategic plan, which give you the opportunity to see what we can say we want to do. After listing this company in September 2011, we embarked on a recent step. In 2014, we acquired another medium-sized insurance company called Rio Kenya, which has operations in Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, and Malawi. So, with a stroke in 2014, Britain, that is the businesses that we play in. As a group, we are in insurance, as I said, in asset management, in banking, and in insurance. We have all those operations. I'm not sure whether that is legible. It's a Rio Kenyan entity we acquired in 2014. We have Britain Kenya, Britain Rwanda, Britain South Sudan, Britain Rwanda, Britain Tanzania, Mozambique, Malawi, institutional investor, equity with a 10% stake. We are also the second largest investor in housing finance. It is the biggest mortgage lending institution in the country. Been 34 years in this organization since I joined it on 1st of August 1980. Of course, I didn't join the organization as a chief executive. I joined the organization as a chief accountant. And over the years, I have risen to the position I hold. When I joined in 1980, yes, I joined as chief accountant, but in December 1983, I was appointed the general manager of the organization. So from 1983 to the present moment, I have been part of the team that has been instrumental in the transformation of this group from that small home service insurance company to what Professor describing as a huge, I don't like calling it a conglomerate, but a huge financial services organization operating in those seven. Down to manage volume, it becomes very tricky. In our experience, we have used an approach, and I'm sure in our classes, many of you will be familiar with Robert Kaplan and David Norton, the creators of the Balanced Scorecard, which was created in 1992. Kaplan and Norton have come up with a strategic plan, but before that, they used to talk about business policy and decisions. They used to talk about long-range plan, but this is now the business. But my own experience, until I came across this, is that many organizations do not have a theoretical framework that guides the formulation, the strategic plan, and its execution. And it's important that you have a framework executing strategy. Again, you also remember that strategy did not become vogue. Measures and targets through Balanced Scorecard. That would be a familiar concept, I guess. You have resources, you do the budget. And then after that point, you have written the strategic plan. And that is the phase I said, we all go for retreats to hotels, just to document that process. And then when you get back, but more significantly is the operational review meetings by looking at various businesses, looking at how we are performing against our budget on an annual basis. And as you run, then you extract these financial statements in order to then adapt to the environment. And once you do this process, you get back here again. Maybe after 3-4 years, you start the process of validating the strategy. That is the closed loop system, and the important thing about it, and why I like it, is that you are able to link strategy formulation to the operations through this framework. It might look academic, but based on my own experience, this is the only framework I know that has been developed to assist organizations have a coherent framework So much so that it is embedded in the organization, it's the culture of the organization. Every manager is aware. Every manager, it has a big chance of being sustained because it's a system. It's not ad hoc, it's coherent, and it is very systematic. So, most organizations have expertise. What are the challenges? And I think that is the core of our discussion. Of all these organizations that we talked about earlier, as examples, including Britain, that you go through this process, but you are finally not able to identify what is the challenge. But that is a process we will go through. How will you achieve your vision for delivering on the vision and living the values? This is the combination part. So what are the challenges? Why is it that only 10% of strategies get executed? Let's start with the internal challenges. Internal challenges start with the people, the leadership. Then you have the operations, planning operations, communication. You have resource challenges. And as we observed earlier, organizational alignment. So if we go to each one of these, people, leadership. It sometimes doesn't really make sense because you're also looking for very high-sounding terms just to prove that you went on the truth. But I think the point here is, first of all, from a leadership point of view, we need and that's why we bring in consultants. These consultants, they're also doing the same for another organization, because consultants is their bread and butter business. So they 10 and we identified the strategies and the initiatives that we wanted to implement. But when we listed the company in September 2011, we had to revisit that strategic plan because we now had new state. And we also said that we wanted to be a regional player instead of being a local player. So in 2012, we updated that strategic plan and developed a 5-year strategic plan, 2012-2016. And as we set about implementing that strategic plan, we realized to execute that strategic plan, we needed funding. Markets were very responsive. We wanted to raise 5 billion shillings, in fact 4 billion shillings, but we were oversubscribed. Final analysis, we received subscriptions for 7 billion, but we were only able to build ventures, recruiting and developing high caliber staff to execute that. Organizational alignment. Very critical. More business organizations, very good. Insurance. So we have these debates and they are never ending. And you can lose sight of the business. So back to leadership has to be done. So organizational alignment. Then involves stakeholders. As I said, what do you do? Or you might say you want to expand, like Britain said, to outside Kenya. So director asks you, why do you want to go to South Sudan? This is a lot of place in real life to appreciate the magnitude of our challenge. Processes. This is where most strategies come unstuck. And that is why the Kaplan-Norton closed loop is very important. Linking strategy to operation. Because you cannot deliver on your strategy unless your operations are efficient. value chains themselves. Let's take the example of our insurance business. We have an agent or a financial advisor who says, for underwriting, you are required to do a medical examination. So we have to link that financial advisor to a medical doctor in a particular hospital. Then from the hospital, the form comes to the underwriting department. The underwriting department looks at the medical report and sees, so you have hypertension or whatever the condition you have. They say, we want another second opinion. So the form is sent back. Or let's assume the form is not sent back or clear, so we now have to issue the policy. So that policy must now be sent to the system in order for it to be issued. Then the bank must send the premium in Britain. And you must provide that information to the bank. So, how you plan the operations, and that is just one share example, I've given you with the challenge itself. So you'll find organizations, and this is now something we are doing in Britain, you decide to invest in technology. Because without technology, then you cannot innovate. So you find organizations invested in enterprise resource planning systems, ERP, which now links procurement, for example, accounts payable, the general ledger, human resource systems, and that investment in itself can be major. For the insurance example I've given you, you have to procure a life insurance administration system, which costs a lot of money. And then configuring those systems, customizing them to your business needs, in itself is a time consuming.